Hello everybody. This is a video about solving equations using multiplication and division. I am your host, Mr. Shirley, the Optimus Prime of Math. Now please make a brief note as we go through this. Feel free to keep it as short as you're comfortable with. Throw a date and a title on that. And our learning goal, surprise, surprise, is to solve equations using multiplication and division. I'm as shocked as you are. Alright, quick recall from last video. Whatever you do to one side of an equal sign, you must do to the other. So when we're wanting to solve an equation like this one, yes, I know you can probably see the answer, but we're going to, again, focus on a bit of a system for finding it so that when the questions get a little more complicated, you know what to do. Alright, so when we're adding 4 here, we want to make that go away by doing the opposite operation, which is subtract 4. Okay, so you would do plus 4 minus 4. But you must also subtract 4 from the other side of the equal sign. So I put it in red to emphasize that. Okay, the plus 4 minus 4 turns into a 0, effectively goes away, and the n equals -3. Okay, and if you wished to, just to remind you from last time, you can take this answer and substitute it back in here in place of n if you would like to double check that you have done this correctly. Okay, so you would substitute in the -3 and add that to 4, which equals 1. Check. That's what it should equal. Okay, if you got something different, you need to go back and double check your answer or double check your math when you're substituting the number in. All right, now when we're doing solving equations using multiplication and division, we do something very similar. Okay, we're using that opposite operation idea to get rid of that number, because what we want, I wrote that on the top, is that we're trying to get the variable alone on one side of the equal sign. We're trying to isolate that variable. Okay, so you want to get that by itself. So to do that, you do the opposite operation. So because we're multiplying by 5 here, we want to divide by 5. Okay, so you would do n times 5 divided by 5. Because what do you think happens if you take a number, you multiply it by 5, and then divide it by 5? You get right back to where you started, which is only n, and that's what we want. Okay, and then, but you must do the divided by 5 on the other side as well. Okay, and I underlined it in red again just to emphasize it. So when you do multiply by 5 divided by 5, that effectively goes away, so you just have an n there. Okay, trust me, if you'd like to double check the numbers here, substitute something in there, see what happens to it. You'll end up right back with n again. Okay, and 15 divided by 5 just equals 3. So just to one more time emphasize our error checking, which we won't do most of this video, but you're welcome to, you take your number and substitute that right up in there. So 3 times 5 equals 15. Okay, check. All right, and sometimes that will be written as LS equals RS, or left side equals right side. Okay, which is basically what you want, because if there's an equal sign in there, the left side better equal the right side. If not, it's not equal. All right, now when we're dividing by a number, we want to multiply to get that number away from our variable. Okay, so opposite operation always. Okay, so if you're doing n divided by 2, what you want to do is multiply it by 2, because any given number, if you were to divide it by 2 and then multiply it by 2, you're just going to get right back to where you started. Might as well not have done anything at all. But again, you have to do it to both sides of the equal sign. So we're left with n equals 16, which is 8 times 2. Okay, and I'll leave it up to you to check that answer if you'd like. Take a moment, please, pause the video, and try out these two questions right here. Okay, I'll assume you did that, got them perfect, but I got to go through it anyways just in case anyone had trouble. So remember, 3n is the same as 3 multiplied by n. Okay, so we want to do 3n divided by 3, so opposite operation from that multiplying. So if we're multiplying by 3, we divide by 3. But again, you must do the same thing to both sides. Okay, so we're left with n equals 37. Okay, similar idea on the other side, because we're doing a divided by 4.3. To isolate that a, we need to multiply by 4.3. Okay, and so what we're left with then is a equals 5 times 4.3, which is 21.5. So again, as you're going through these, just emphasizing whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, do to the other. If you know other methods for doing these questions, as we've spoken about in some of the meetings, feel free to do that. Just be very careful, because like with integers and order of operations and many other things, easy to make a mistake with these, so just be careful with the signs and the operations as you're moving them about. Try out the questions that are related to this, and please ask me any questions during meetings or by email. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you for watching.